stay in Denver. Bo Nix was the 6th quarterback off the board in the 2024 draft, and he finished with 29 touchdown passes, not only the most among last year's rookie class, but the 2nd most by a rookie in NFL history, just too shy of Justin Herbert's record. But one of the most impressive feats for Nix was how quickly he learned head coach Sean Payton's complex offenses. But apparently, Bo Nix didn't have a lot of brain freezes last year. Field,
No.
What are your expectations for him in year 2?
Yeah, Hannah, they're high. Bo showed some really good things on film this past season. I thought his downfield vertical passing was excellent in the second half of last year, but I don't think we talk nearly enough about the Broncos' offensive line, which is in a league that is covered so exhaustively, not something you can say very often, but they were the #1 NFL offensive line, and not just run block win rate, but also pass block win rate, and by a lot. They were at 74% last year. Only one other team in the league was even above 70. That was the Vikings at 72.2%. They have all 5 starters expected back this year for that offensive line. They reinvested in veteran left tackle Garrett Bowles. To me, a lot of reasons to be optimistic about this Denver team, because a position that we always find ourselves talking about where teams don't have enough talent or enough depth in October, November, and December, the Broncos are about as well positioned as anybody in the entire league at that offensive line spot.
I think you're absolutely right, Phil. I think their roster is loaded. When you look at what they've done here since Sean Payton got there, I mean, look, the young receivers they've drafted to go with Cortland Sutton. You mentioned the offensive line. They bring in Evan Ingram, the tight end. He should be a huge help to Bo Nix. Overhaul the running game with J.K. Dobbins and their 2nd-round pick, R.J. Harvey. The defense adds 2 guys from the 49ers, Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga, to a defense that already includes the Defensive Player of the Year in Pat Surtain and another guy, Nick Bonito, that finished in the top 10 in Defensive Player of the Year voting. We talked about the Chargers earlier. I think the biggest threat to the Chiefs in their division is this Denver Broncos team.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And Mina Kimes, she rated the top defenses, and she had the Broncos at #1 going into the season.
Okay. Let's talk about this. And it's kind of funny for them to be like, most people don't realize that the Denver Broncos actually had the best line. It's like, I've been talking about that for months now, actually. Everyone keeps trying to say that the Philadelphia Eagles had one of the best O-lines in the history of the NFL. And it's like, well, then what does that make the Denver Broncos? And I actually really am starting to like more and more the pass block win rate and the run block win rate. I mean, I think stats still always need to be put into context, but that stat is is almost as binary as it can get, right? It's either, are you stopping the defense from getting to your quarterback at this cutoff point of 2.5? So it's like it really nullifies, is your quarterback holding on to the ball too long? Is he, missing something? Like is he scrambling around in circles? It's really just like, is the defender getting by you? Yes or no? Right? And it's still in like this very specific time where it's not like, well, yeah, he got by you, but you blocked for 10 seconds. What do you want him to do? Like it's for the most part as binary as you get. The one thing that it doesn't 100% control for is if your offense is driven around like getting the ball out like right away, right? If you're just calling hike and throw, like technically you could have me back there. I just call hike and then just throw the ball out of bounds right away. And it's like, great, that was a win block rate success, right? And it's like, well, yes, but was it really? Like, no. So that's like the only other thing that you kind of have to control for. But this O-line has been great. This defense has been great. And it's been great in ways that this team has not even been able to take advantage of. Think about how they had this great O-line, this great run block win rate, and yet their run game wasn't that great. Like that's actually exciting. That should actually excite you, because those should be solvable problems moving forward. And everything that they put on Bo Nix's shoulders it really was. It's clear that Sean Payton's mentality was like, it's sink or swim. I'm throwing you into this dark pond at midnight. You have no idea how deep or shallow it is. You have no idea what's in there. It's a massive lake. Okay, are there alligators in there? Are there sharks? I mean, like, you don't know. I don't know. You don't know what I put in there. Best of luck, buddy. Catfish in there? Like, I don't know. And you just got to figure it out. You got to, you got to swim. I need a quarterback who can swim. And I'm doing it because I trust you. I'm doing it because I believe you will swim. Right? Like, I'm putting you in a position to eventually succeed, but you're going to learn the hard way, and that's okay. And I mean, there was really 3 games that I absolutely loved out of Bo Nix. And I think it's also so funny because you guys know I was on the Bo Nix train before the season started, but definitely even during the season and after the season. And right, he had one of the best rookie seasons for a quarterback, especially in terms of passing touchdowns. And yet it was barely discussed. And it's not like he entered the league where he just was flushed with just the most elite offensive weapons, where it's like, well, yeah, of course he's going to feast back there. Of course he's going to throw for 1 million touchdowns. Now, again, to be fair, I don't live and die by just passing touchdowns or, passing yards or whatever. We have plenty of quarterbacks who throw for a lot of touchdowns, and we know that other quarterbacks are clearly better than them, even though they threw for less touchdowns or whatever it may be. I like total touchdowns more than I like just passing touchdowns. But even then, I think he was top in the NFL, one of the more leaders. I think it was like 40 something total touchdowns that he had. Right. He was 34. Okay. Top 7. Sam Darnold flushed with weapons. Jared Goff flushed with weapons. Josh Allen, an absolute monster. Baker Mayfield, they relied on him heavily, so that's definitely impressive. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Lamar Jackson flushed with weapons and also a monster in his own right. So it's wildly impressive. Wildly impressive to do that. But what I'm so excited to see, I had this aha moment with Bo Nix, and this kind of realization and how much I believe in this team and Bo as a quarterback. And it was just this feeling of if Bo Nix is as great as I think he is and will have the level of success that I think he will have, it's going to be by year 2. There's no reason to believe that we're going to have one of these seasons where it's kind of yeah, he was good, and I think he'll be better in year 3. I think it's very much if he is as great as I think he is, then I think he will absolutely pop this year. And what I was saying, I think I forgot to mention it. I got distracted for a moment. There was these 3 games where I saw him, and it was just really actually 4 games where I was just this guy's a baller. This guy gets it. He understands. And he's playing in certain moments right now. And this is what I said last season. It's so reminiscent, especially against the Baltimore Ravens, where they got rocked. But I was so impressed with how Bo Nix played and everything that he was doing. I was this is a guy who reminds me as the best football player, the best athlete on the field, but he's just on a bad team right now, and he's going up against a great team. And for those of you who are maybe not from around great football areas, you have a lot of high school teams that it's just they got one great guy, they got one great athlete, and he's going to almost always be the quarterback because he just needs to touch the ball every snap, and it's just he's just got to do whatever he can. Sometimes he's throwing, sometimes he's run. He just kind of has to do a little bit of everything, and you just tell, oh yeah, that guy's a great athlete, and it's just he's going up against a better team, and his team's just not good enough. And it's just you and a lot of times you can see the talent there, and you can see the burden that's placed upon him. And both games against the Chiefs, I mean, I understand that they were resting their starters, but 1, it was still an important game for the Broncos, and 2, it was still an NFL game. Okay, it was still a game in the NFL as a rookie, and it's not he just won. He lit it up. He literally just lit that entire week of football on fire of every single game that was. I mean, it was awesome. It was awesome, and the burden and the weight that they put on his shoulders against the Kansas City Chiefs game on the road, huge divisional game, undefeated Kansas City Chiefs team, the reigning Super Bowl champions, Patrick Mahomes, Spags, Andy Reid. I mean, in that moment of time, it doesn't get any bigger than that. And you're not even having the luxury of doing it at home. You're on the road, Arrowhead. At that point, that had to have been the biggest game of his life. It just was. I mean, bigger than any other what game could have been considered in college. Because at that point, it's like, it's just college. This is like a defining game in your career, in your NFL career. And there was moment after moment after moment, play after play after play, that Sean Payton's like, I need you to get the job done. I need you to get the job done. And he did. And he did. He was going to be the quarterback that led that team to beat them for the first time of the season. And I just, that can't be understated. It just can't. And it can't be overstated. I mean, it was a big deal. It was a big deal, and it wasn't like he was just taking advantage of the team around him. That he was just like, yeah, they're just kind of asking him to just, fall in line within the team. Just go with the flow of the team. Like, no. He was the flow. He was the team. And I was just so impressed. So impressed. And then the game against the Bengals. I mean, again, it obviously didn't work out for them at the end of the day, but it was just like the throw that he made. I mean, like, it was just, again, and these are all big games, big moments that they're putting the burden on him. And in the opening drive against the Buffalo Bills, I mean, like, on the road, going up against the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs. And he had that team. I mean, like, he was going to either tie the score or take the lead at the end of the first half. But I think there was like a drop third down pass or whatever. I forget exactly how that unfolded. I keep forgetting, and I keep meaning to look back to see, because I always reference it, but I don't remember it off the top of my head exactly right now. And that's big time to me. That's big time. So now you're going to elevate the roster even more. You're going to elevate the offense even more. You're going to hopefully, ideally, have a consistent run game. The defense is going to be elevated even more. He's going to be elevated individually just by virtue of it being year 2 for him now. And tell me what magical film they have on Bo Nix. Now they just see, okay, they got film on him now. Now he's going to be trapped. It's like, okay. It's not like he heavily relied on like a singular trait or a singular characteristic that you could be like, okay, we take away this from him, we're good. It's like, that's not the case. And so if Bo Nix is really going to be as great as I believe and many others believe, I really believe that in year 2, we're going to get a heavy dose of that. We are going to see. Does it mean that he's going to step up in every big moment? No. Does it mean that he's going to absolutely carry this team to a Super Bowl? No. Right? Does it mean that like he's just never going to waver and it's just going to be a straight, line that's just going up? Like, no. He's still going to be 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Still going to be a moment when it's like, oh man, you can't throw that ball. There's 3 minutes to go. You're up by 4. Don't do that. Like, you're still going to have it. You're still going to have those moments. Still, it's just Patrick Mahomes has those moments. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Tom Brady did. Like, it's still all going to be there. All the negatives are still going to be there. But I think really what we'll see is the highs are going to be way higher. Way higher. And the lows will definitely shrink a lot more. Definitely. And yeah, man. I think he has such a higher ceiling than people really want to admit. And has the huge benefit that people still also don't seem to want to acknowledge or accept, that like he's with a great coach. And now I don't know if I can go as far as say that this team is loaded. I have to think about it a little bit more in that regard, but it's obviously not a roster that has this huge deficit where it's like, yeah, but the defense is going to not be good. And so they're going to be asking Bo Nix to be putting up 35 points just to keep up, or like, how is he going to keep up with the firepower of the Kansas City Chiefs and the like? That's not the story here. That's not the story. So like that to me is so key. And what something like Justin Herbert didn't have was that he had a defensive head coach and he had a great coordinator who then left and was like, see ya, I'm going to Philly now. That's not Bo Nix's situation. Bo Nix has that continuity. he has the offensive head coach who then gets to continue this progress. That's that. For the life of me, and it's why I always have to bring it up, for the life of me, I'll never understand why so many people don't understand the importance of that. Like, why they just act like it's just so easy just to get another coach, or lose your main offensive minded coach and he's just gone. Like, the continuity matters so much. Even if you just have a pretty good coach, the continuity is better than just constantly getting new ones. It's always the issue with having a defensive head coach. Always, always, always for a quarterback. And so Bo Nix doesn't have to deal with that. So that's another strong indicator to me as to why he, year 2 is like, I'm not seeing where I'll have to kind of explain why it wasn't a great year or why it wasn't as good as it should have been. I don't have to be like, well, he got a new coordinator and, well, the defense was so bad, man. Like, Bo Nix was back on the field immediately, right? Like, it was just boom. Like, you're just, they never gave him any good field position. And it was like every single time he had the ball, he was on his own 10 or something. Like, it just, I don't see that having, I don't see that being a thing. So, telling you, I'm still buying the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix stock. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix and what they will be able to accomplish this season? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.